All right. You can see me and hear me, right? Plumbing is fixed. Finally. Kind of. Well, for the most part. I have water, so that's a start. Was a three-letter U.S. agency involved in the 9/11 attack, and was the collapse of the towers caused by controlled demo? It's written on the walls. It's written on the walls that there's one agency that benefited greatly from the control that they were able to seize from this event. That was the true motive, allegedly. Strength. They were the power behind it, allegedly. Any messages? It's like there's part of you on either side of this bridge, and there's a need to come together between. It feels like a balance between what you were building versus what you're building now, and not looking at them as separate, but looking at them as a bridge. Feels like there's something mentally that helps to soothe or bring the answer to. Message from guides about father's passing and his feelings toward me. Did he want to make amends with me at the end? Did he want to make amends with you at the end? Nine of Cups is like one step away from a fulfillment. The world would be the end. So I was very close to fulfilling this right before the end. Knight of Swords, bringing the message. So I was very close to fulfilling this right before the end. I was trying to bring a message, but I was not able to. I would say yes. It does look like a step away is how I want to word that. Message for my dad from my brother, Sean. For your dad from your brother, Sean. He's allowed to be okay. It's like in his mind he's playing chess, but he's playing against himself. So either way, he's going to lose and win, right? So it's like, don't play that chess game. Allow yourself to leave what feels like a mental restrictive area in the mind. Almost like Sean comes with him when he leaves the area. He's not leaving Sean behind by leaving the chessboard, if that makes sense. They took my dad off of any treatments for the cancer. Any words for him? Off of the treatment. A need to trust that what comes next is what his soul signed him up for. It's almost like his energy is being led by this like light beam from above, and although the path looks rocky and uphill, it's what's leading him back home to that version of himself. And there's something about presence, like, but I don't really think it's like needing to be more present. I think it's like acknowledgement from his higher self that the amount he's trying to be present is enough. He's not behind in terms of presence. Oh, it's loud. Why, Charlie, is Candace protected? Does Charlie approve her search for the answers? Is Candace protected? Death. Eight of Wands. when Candace is no longer in her role, that scene is already scripted. So protected, I feel like there's a role that is happening. Her awareness level of it aside, I want to say that like there's someone who knows what's unfolding. King of Cups. Husband. I feel like her husband knows maybe more of the next steps than they would like us to believe. So protected, I would lean towards to a degree. It might not look like that in what we see, but behind the scenes, I feel like yes. Message from guides and a token. Shooting star. Shooting star. Your emotions are where your gifts come from. So shutting down emotions disconnects from your gifts. So if you feel distant from your gifts, look at how your emotional flow is. Or if you're trying to increase your gifts, increase emotional flow. This is the Gilded Tarot. I got it on Amazon, I think, probably. It feels like I'm being indirectly tasked with creating systems at work that are not my responsibility but are necessary. Insight to that if that's true and what I should do. So that are not your responsibility but are necessary. Page of Cups and Page of Wands facing each other. So there's something about being on different pages. Like you and what you signed up for are on different pages. But at the same time, the word necessary would be Queen of Swords. So it does feel like it's necessary. I think this is just a confirmation. Yes, you're doing stuff beyond the scope, but it's also necessary. So I guess it depends on if you have the time, energy, and resource to continue to do that, or if a conversation would need to be had. Message for my stepdad from my mom. It's been a year in October, and I worry about him. He needs to hear something to believe she's still here. He needs to hear something to believe she's still here. There's a certain fear that they discussed. Almost like it may be like a silly fear. Like I feel like it has something related to death. And she's like, or whatever that is, it's not whatever we feared, that's not the case. I don't know how to word that. But there's something like almost maybe it was like a jokey type thing. But I feel like it's more, the magician communication. I feel like it's more about her referencing that it's her more so than it being about the actual fear. I don't think it's actually something he's scared of. I think it's something that they would joke about. And something significant about July, 8/8 portal, Lionsgate, around that time frame. Message from my spirit guides and a song. I don't know these songs. Hold on. I don't like this one either. Hold on. Iris by Grace Davies is the song. You had to be at odds with yourself to find the way back. Whatever your last, it feels like there's a bit of feeling disconnected, but the disconnection is meant to put you in this King of Pentacles energy. It's like you're learning something about contrast as it pertains to new beginnings. So the lesson you're looking for is how can I learn something about contrast as it relates to wanting or finding a new beginning? Guidance on career, feeling stuck and lost. King of Pentacles. Confidence. You have the ability to be in the King of Pentacles, but Queen of Wands is holding you back. So confidence. I feel like I don't know, like going back to doing things for enjoyment a bit instead of building all the time will help you see that you can still be in the flow that you were in previously. Yeah, Five of Pentacles. You may feel a bit locked out from that. I feel like there's a need to put down quickness of progress. I feel like not having progress as quickly as you'd like is what's causing your Queen of Wands, the fire, to not be as lit. Is our financial situation about to get better? I think you're going to see the avenue for a solution. I think it's still going to be some effort on your part, but it's like you're going to, this is kind of giving me like clues. Like you're going to start to see little ways you could save or opportunities to decrease something. You're going to start to see little things. And as you take those opportunities, it leads to something that's more like expansive or wide. I feel like it's gonna start small, but I mean, this is positive. I just don't think it's gonna be quick as you're hoping. But the little opportunities to take steps, I feel like that happens quick. Where's my mouse? Hold on. New member, thank you. You're being encouraged to get into your King of Wands. So take some kind of confident action. That's what pulls you out of feeling like, it kind of feels like you planned for something to go one way and it took a quick right turn. So taking action that feels bold but intentional gets you out of that place. I do not like doing this on my iPad. Okay. Next week, my husband goes and sees the doctor of the insurance company for the lawsuit. Any idea when this will be resolved? So the Knight of Cups is a slower moving knight. I do feel like it's going to go in your favor. I just feel like it's going to be longer than anticipated. I feel like there's going to be some like giving you the runaround a bit. Not the lawyer, maybe the doctor. I do feel like it goes in your favor, but I feel like it takes some time. Maybe add 6 to 8 months towards the end of whatever your like projected time frame would be right now. Let me get back to this list. Guidance for December. Guidance for December. Needing to get clarity about what your emotions are trying to show you or teach you. Not looking at them as inconveniences, but it feels like that's the way that your spirit team's communicating with you right now. It's like the quickest way to get your attention, I guess you could say, or trying to turn your emotional body back into flow by using your emotions to trigger data. So look at emotions as data as opposed to speed bumps. Will my daughter-in-law keep her job? Keep her job. I mean, unless she gives them a reason not to. Yeah, this looks positive. King and King, I mean, there may be eventually like a change in management, and then I would maybe ask again, but it feels like under this management, yeah. Message from Jeff. Message from Jeff. There's a message of I wish I would have handled something differently or made a different choice when given two options. I don't know if it's necessarily coming through as like an apology, more so as like an acknowledgement, like got that off my chest type of thing. Almost like maybe you guided this person to make a certain decision and they made the opposite and they were like, okay, so you were right. It kind of feels like a bit of that. We are thinking of moving. Would this be good for my family? Would this be good? If someone is dealing with like wanting to expand socially or be more social, I feel like this will specifically help that person in that area. And then also either more opportunities for work or better work or something along those lines. I feel like, yeah, it'll be positive. My mom was wondering if my dad is present with me or her, and if so, does he have a message for her? Does he have a message for her? The Lovers and the Three of Pentacles. So he's with both of you. Her as the Lovers and you as the Three of Pentacles. So teamwork with you. Still loving connection with her. What's the message? Oh, the song. The song is If You Could Feel My Love by Vioxx. And it started playing before I was answering you. It's been playing for 1 minute and 43 seconds. So I love you, 143. Hierophant, Knight of Cups. The message is he's still very much with you. Both of you. No offense. I feel like that's really more geared towards her, but also you. But very much her. Knight of Cups, the Hierophant, and the Lovers. Loved you then, love you still, always will. Very loudly. Where's my mouse? Hong Kong fires, 7 buildings significant, 7 sacrifices, more than 160 unalive in the fires. Oh, is that? I think I saw that. Was like 2 weeks ago or something, right? Or was that more? Was there more than one fire? Okay, 7 significant. King of Pentacles, a man who pays for a new beginning. Page of Cups would be like those that paid. King of Pentacles views himself as up here and Page of Cups as down here. You're not emotionally intelligent, you're slower than the other ones, and you don't have money, right? So that kind of feels like this, and this kind of looks, I would say I get those vibes from that, yeah. I feel like everything big happening like that right now is playing a part in what they need to happen on the stage, allegedly. Message from higher self. Message from higher self. You're about to get clarity in a way you don't expect. So be open to really paying attention to, I don't know, make sure you're as present as possible in conversations that don't even really seem important, because you're going to be handed some kind of clue in an unexpected way to bring clarity. My daughter, hello. My daughter's 38th birthday was yesterday. Token and a message. Shooting star again. Interesting, because I reached all the way to the bottom. So it came back from the bottom. Came back from the bottom. This is making me think of my tattoo. That's my parents' house as a treasure chest. The message of alignment being valuable. So it feels like this year, the alignment that she worked for in previous years is going to show why it was important to fight for it. Like she fought for alignment and now she's about to understand it was worth the fight. And the Chariot's on the bottom. Why is this so slow? More insight on the bridge I need to cross with work / my work. Would they be open to my conscious education work or keep it separate from them? I would say keep it separate from them. Until it's established, I guess I would say. Ace of Swords in reverse. Would there be some kind of data from your day-to-day that would help in further development of the conscious education work? Like almost like a side study, collecting data in some way or figuring out different ways that people learn or something. It's important, whatever it is, with the Tower. Or relevant, maybe is a better word. Message from Stacy. Message from Stacy. It's 11:11 on my time. And my phone just lit up so I could see that. Stop that. It's almost, she's like saying, stop that. Stop doing that. Stop that. But like in like a friendly way, not like a mean way. Stop that. Oh, dimming yourself. It's almost like she's saying, you're ready. You did the work. You're ready to close out this carrying of this and just, this is like a bundle too, but it's of light instead of burdens. So she's like, put down this and allow this to come through. You're ready for this. Stop focusing on this. You're welcome. Get a card for you. What's that quote? A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And the other quote is, the only failure is not starting, or something like that. That's what I'm getting here. It's like there's maybe a bit of the first brick will lay itself when you pick it up and carry it over to the spot type of thing. I guess I'd say the message of no more waiting. It's time to step forward on a change that you know that you're ready for. And the song just said something about renegade. Is the negative noise final gone from the hate club? Is the negative noise final gone from the hate club? It's kind of just giving, let them talk. Wheel of Fortune, people are going to do what they're going to do. Hierophant in reverse. They'll see what they want to see, not what's true. They'll see what's more convenient. And Queen of Pentacles is just giving, let them. So is it gone? No. But should it affect you? Also no. Maybe that's a bit the Queen of Wands from earlier. Maybe there's a bit of hesitancy to be perceived because of that. So needing to release that. Yeah, Two of Swords in reverse. Making a decision to release it. Do my guides have any advice for the week? Feels like either your boundaries are going to be tested, or there's an energy of like, how firm are you going to stand on something that you stood behind? It feels like something's going to be tested to see if you'll blow over easily, type of thing. The Empress, you're not gonna. So whatever it is, just let it come in and let it go. It's not a you thing. It's just you're showing yourself you're standing on business and that no one's pushing you off of business. So just stand on business and let it come and let it go, and it won't create any ripples if you just let it, the one ripple come in and then flow back out, if that makes sense. How does my aunt feel about the way my sister has handled the inheritance? How does my aunt feel about the way A betrayal to the team. Pointing out this fire back here. CM. It looks like a branding thing. So if you brand it an inheritance, it would be like, this is mine. My name's on it. I would say displeased. Like a betrayal to the team. Working hard to betray the team. Unless it's the other way and no. Either betrayal to the team, or there's something that she's, if things are divvied up evenly, then this is the message of working up against something that's not playing fair. So it's one of them. Anything else I need to hear? Any topic? Topic is 5 of Swords. Mental hamster wheel. Oh. I feel like this relates to decision on how to handle your energy with your family. I feel like it's okay to let yourself feel it more when it's the holiday season. I feel like maybe there's a bit of you being like, okay, well, I already decided this, so it can't hurt me now. But like, this is your first holiday season after you've made that decision. So it's okay if it's a little heavier or if it's a little bit more difficult. That doesn't mean you're failing. It just means that it's a difficult time of year for those topics. Okay, back here. A message from my dad and a song. Right now, fire from the gods. So encouraging you to get to it. I shuffled and the same cards came out. Oh, that's him encouraging you to get to it. The only way out is through. I feel like this may be also kind of linked to the last message I did where something may be more difficult during the holiday season, but the only way out is through. Okay, so I feel like the message is if there's something you're avoiding doing, saying, going to, whatever, holiday season related, because you're hesitant to face the emotions, he's like, no, go do it. You'll be fine. I'll be there with you, type of thing. Token for the week. And move this so I can more easily get to the bottom. Soda bottle with number 11. That song, This Is About to Blow. The moon, the magician. Okay, so you know when it's like a polar shift and it's like all of a sudden things go from one polarity to the other. There's some corner of your mind, it feels like you're like isn't all the way in flow with communication. Almost like a part of your crown chakra lights back up is kind of what I'm getting. So it feels like the soda can is some kind of download. Yeah, or message that is symbolic of that center lighting back up. So it might be a little download, but you'll notice more after that because that center is lit back up. How can I take advantage of this great spiritual awakening for my greatest good, and how can I best prepare? It's a good question. Finding value in how far you've already come. It feels like just sharing your energy in whatever way you feel called draws in. When you show you're open to receive, when you show you're open to being a part of the great spiritual awakening, because that would be collectively, everybody, right? So the more that you open yourself up to the collective, the more pieces of it you get, not because you're doing it to receive, but because you've done the work to know how that exchange works, right? So like the laws of of the universe work a certain way. This is like you've done the work to know that that's how they work and that you're not doing it to receive certain things. So it just feels like the more you share, the more you receive, because that's how it works. Anything else? When can we expect another? Oh, probably January. Honestly, I'm probably only getting to News in Reverse in December, but we'll see. We shall see. I don't want to tell you something that's not true though. So probably January. Will digital ID and/or digital currency be mandatory in the U.S. in 2026 or 2027? I feel like it's going to start to filter in 2026, but there's a big jump in 2027. They need to somehow increase people's confidence in their ability to problem solve with it. So like they need to have some kind of big scandal or something where they solve the issue so that when they're like, okay, you're all switching, they can also say that with like, we know how to solve problems that come with the potential of doing this. Message from higher self. Message. Kind of giving apple picking. Like, you're going to have an option soon that feels like you've been walking down the little apple picking road and you finally found the apple that you want. Like, not that all the other apples were rotten, but just you were looking for a specific apple. It feels like you're going to soon find it. And it really feels like your parents are, I don't know, almost like your parents would go and like knock down other apples that would be like almost good enough so that you wouldn't take those apples, so that you would make it to the apple that was the best apple. Any message from my mom? You've outgrown the container. It feels like you feel a bit maybe like restricted, constrained, maybe a bit of like energetic suffocation or something. You've outgrown some kind of container energetically. And the way that you get a bigger container is to just start building or just start focusing on something that brings your mind from one side to the other side. And it's not even about what these sides are. It's more about this journey in between, because it gets you out of the container that you've outgrown. Am I lagging? Can somebody tell me if I'm lagging? Message from Sean. It's not the most comforting, but you've been through worse. You've made it through 100% of your hardest days. You've seen this through every different phase, and you didn't shut your eyes yet. You kept seeing it. I kind of feel like there's a message of a final push. You're in the final push of something. Kind of feels like you're in the final push of like reigniting your divine masculine, or rebalancing out, like almost like your divine masculine was in hyperdrive and you're almost in the place where like you reignite both by like getting them balanced. You're in the final push of that. Messages and a token. Message and a token. It's a little tree. It feels like in the past you would put out a lot of energy into something and you wouldn't really get the results as quickly as you'd like. it feels like you've learned all you needed to from that. So if you put energy into something new now, it's going to give you results without that like lag time in the middle. That's what it feels like. Is Newson the shadow that is going to step forward? Is Newson the shadow? And a wanderer. No, I mean, he may be part of the shadow, like the line leader group in those readings that I described, but not the shadow. No. I want to word it as like, you know, in a play when someone has their lines or their acts, it's like his big lines are in the closing play or the closing scene or something like that. Amazon. Gilded Tarot. I'm going to start using a different deck on lives every day. I don't know why I don't do that. I always forget. I really like that. This is my preferred size, but can't always get what you want. Okay, let's see. 1 second. Message for the weekend and a blueprint passage. Let's get 3 cards for the message. You already have the solution before the problem even arises. So when there's something that's going to require your solution making skills, it's like you don't need anything outside of you for this one. It feels like there's something that's going to feel a bit overwhelming that pops up within the next like week or so, but you already have the solution to this. It's almost like if the solution was stuffed in your purse for a while and it's time to make room in where you were carrying it. Law of divine oneness. The law of divine oneness is the foundation for every other law. It teaches us that we're not separate. Oh, Dave has the solution. Oh, not him hijacking my reading. It teaches us that we're not separate, not from each other, not from nature, not from source, not even from the parts of ourselves we try to hide. Everything is connected. Everything affects everything else. Okay, so whatever the issue is that arises, Dave is giving you the solution. So it's almost meant to like, for you to be like, oh man, and then a solution comes out of nowhere because now Dave has told you it's him. So that went a whole different way. Did you pick a specific health event happen because of a health issue? Did a specific health event happen because of a health issue or just shit luck? Did it happen because of a health issue? Or just bad luck? It kind of feels like something has built up to it. It's giving long time coming. Like how I'm being shown it is if it like a drip, a bathtub that's only dripping eventually fills up the whole bathtub. Like it feels like that. So I guess maybe a little bit of bad luck too, because it feels like there was signs missed of the buildup. But I almost feel like once the bathtub drains, it's fine. That's how I'm seeing it, at least. Like the pressure relief, I guess. Is Garth my true soulmate? Is Garth my true soulmate? This person really helps you find yourself. This feels a lot geared about your journey. So not to say that he's not, but it feels like what this is meant to do is meant to bring you back to yourself. It's meant to help you trust yourself again. So does that mean that this person has to be around forever for that to happen? No. It feels like this person has a soul mission with you to get you to this point. You may get to this point and feel like you've outgrown this person. I feel like this really depends on, is this person going to match your growth, or are they going to kind of unintentionally have themselves left behind? I feel like that's the determining factor. Message from higher self, stuck in life. What would your higher self say to unstuck you? Oh, you're in like a divine pause. You're meant to be learning something about like an internal self-starter, like when you don't have the direction, not waiting for the direction to come, but producing the direction. Needing to balance rest with what? Intuition. You're meant to be using this time wisely. If you don't know where you're heading, just start where you're at and dig into the depths of yourself. The more you dig into the depths of yourself, the more direction externally you'll get. To be the equivalent of fictional behavioral assessment for my school through the lens of conscious education, focus on systems and staff culture. Should you do Ace of Wands? Yes, for the first part. Equivalent of functional behavioral assessment for your school through the lens of conscious. What insight is that going to give you? What not to waste time or energy on? How much to turn up and down certain pieces of it. Focus on systems and staff culture. Systems and staff culture. More systems and more so system. I guess, I mean, how that would affect staff culture. But it feels like more systems and decision making. Why certain decisions are made. Or how or something. What was the meaning of Dawn's fake apology letter? What was the meaning of Dawn's fake apology letter? Something about caring how other people are viewing the situation and making it so they don't say anything else. Other people, how do I word this? Dawn believes that other people view that Dawn was in the wrong. So Dawn wants to fix how other people are viewing Dawn by the apology letter. Where's my mouse? There we go. How will our long distance drive from Massachusetts to Florida go this weekend? Can you hurry up and wait? I feel like it goes well. It just kind of feels like maybe the drive is smooth and then last minute you hit traffic or something like unexpectedly, or there's some kind of delay, but it feels like it goes fine for the most part. Or maybe that's on the way back. There's more traffic than expected or a delay. Could be on the way back instead of the last little bit. Hint on answer to EB's problem. Hint on answer. The seahorses feel significant. They mate for life. Abandonment. 4 of Swords, 3 of Cups in reverse. Unable to, a blocked self-expression because of an abandonment pattern. Pattern of abandonment, blocking expression. It's kind of giving screaming inside and no one can hear me type vibes. like frustrated. Is it Daisy and her granddad moving stuff around in her mom's house? Yes. The Chariot. Chariot and the Lovers. Yes, both of us. Six of Pentacles, giving and receiving. Did they used to have like one of them is a jokester, or like what is being moved is significant to like unfinished business, like you get what you give, like a jokey way. Are the neighbors and their family doing moon magic on me as, why did I say magic like that? As they are all together now. The Star. It's more so keeping tabs. Show me magic. Oh, sending intentions. Sending intent. I mean, yeah, you can call it that. Yeah. Sending intentions and then keeping tabs. Do they know it, stick, and will return back to them? Yeah. They've already seen that. They've already seen that happen. And apparently it's not stopping them. Will inflation stay the same or get worse in 2026? Everything is so expensive. Oh. They need it to get to a point where we feel desperate to accept some kind of measure from them. Yeah. It's going to, I feel like it's just going to keep, I mean, we may have some waves of relief, but I feel like until we're switched over to digital currency, or until they make the move to do that, they're going to keep making it more difficult, because they have to have that as like, here, we're helping you, we're bailing you out. Have I made the right choice in remaining my current Medicare insurance coverage? I made the right choice. Yeah, I mean, for now, the Three of Wands makes me feel like this eventually may shift, but it feels like you've got it under control if it does. So I want to say yes for now, but that doesn't mean that decision is locked in forever. There may be a point where there's a better decision available, or a different, more suited one. Is Brian looking for... No. Is Brian looking for a relationship, and should I start seeing him? That no wasn't to you, by the way. I dropped the cards in case you're not looking at the screen. Is Brian looking for a relationship? I would say he's testing to see if he feels like he's ready for one as he approaches where one could happen. So like, he's toying around with the idea of it, is how I would word that. Is, should you start seeing him? I don't think he's as ready as you are ready. I feel like you're on different pages. You know you're ready. He's testing to see if he's ready. So maybe just not yet with this person. It could get there, though. I feel uncomfortable energy about my parents being in Cali until December 16th. Should I be feeling this way? I don't think you're wrong for feeling that way, but I think that it's going to be okay. I think it's unfounded but valid. I feel like it's showing you that your pattern recognition is online, which is something you'll need for the next chapter. But I think it may be a bit misfiring with this signal. So there may be some other worries getting mixed in and reassigning itself as worrying about this when it's really other worries, if that makes sense, like in the same category or the same pot, like mixed in together. So I think that they will be fine. But I also don't think that you're wrong for worrying, if that makes sense. What's blocking me from starting the codex work? Stuck in observer's role. You know you're going to have to feel stuff. I feel like if you allow yourself to have, like, whenever the next time emotions rise to the surface and for any reason, and it's appropriate to allow yourself to have a good cry. I feel like if you allow yourself to have a good cry and then very quickly after that, try to do just start some of the work, even if it's a little bit, I feel like you'll find it a lot easier because you're not going to be hesitant to feel emotions. If you just felt them, you're like, okay, I just did it. I can just do it again. I feel like it's that hesitancy. Message from my sister. She passed December 2nd, 2024. You have what it takes to, it feels like you feel like you're walking on this road where you could fall off at any second. And there is a feeling of like overwhelm, especially this time of year. But it feels like there's almost like as you need to take a step, even if this is dim, she's giving you the next piece that you need. And I kind of feel like this is the message of something about to click into place because these are looking like steps to me. So I'm taking steps up above the fear and something clicks into place. Wouldn't It Be Nice by the Beach Boys is the song. Circumstances around the impromptu visit mom made dad do before or after. Circumstances around the visit. Get in and get out. Get in and get out, which is probably to check something, to ask something, to see something. Before or after? Before, after. After? I don't really know what you mean by that second part of the question, but after. Because this is an ending, and then this would be your mom. Why is it like not coming up when I click on it? There we go. How are my chakras? How are your chakras? It feels like your upper chakras are good, but your lower, it feels like root chakra is carrying a lot. And again, red and green. So it just feels like it may have a lot to do with this time of year or everything going on in the world right now. And the way that you're energetically carrying it is making you feel a bit ungrounded. But it feels like all of the chakras above are doing good. It's just needing to really to root in, which kind of feels like it's not your energy. It's the energy around you that's being carried. Feeling like you need to keep walking and you can't plant your feet is the feeling, kind of. Message from Tommy, not your turtle. It's funny. We used to keep him on like a little glass thingy on the back porch. So maybe that's significant, a back porch. There's a pool back there. There's like my dad's work craft tent back there. And this looks like my mom's dog, actually, Bentley. He's helping you fight for what you deserve by helping to point out to you things you're not seeing. So don't look at it as like, why does this crap keep happening? Look at it as like, oh, he's giving me another clue. He's passing me he's shutting another window that I was going to try and get through like a door. Because he knows there is an eventual door. Oh, yay, Linda. Chakra mat. Is Victoria being quietly pushed aside at the studio? Is Victoria being quietly pushed aside? Someone's trying to put themselves in whatever spot she was in. Kind of giving a swap. Like, I want to be where you are, so you get where I am. Kind of giving the energy of someone who wants to pass her. Like, she was ahead of them in line and they want to pass her. Message from my higher self regarding the codex. It's more so about making the commitment and not abandoning yourself than it is about the work. The work is less important for your trajectory right now than the commitment to self is. So just look at the actual codex itself as a tool that you're utilizing so that you can make a commitment to yourself and see it through. Reframe. Come on, mouse. Come on. What do I have to look forward to this month? I feel like because of the new year, there's something that you're not going to care about as much as you go into the new year. So something that's stressing you out right now, it's almost like you put it on the other side of this and then you go through to the other side. And it releases you from these chains. So something that feels really heavy right now isn't going to feel that way come the second week of January. Lots of work meetings next week in person. Any advice for me from my guides? Kind of giving like speak slowly and confidently and don't over explain. I don't want to say like an air of mystery, but that's, I don't know how else to word it. Not mystery. I don't know if like I don't know if there's a restrictive time frame to certain meetings or if it's just not to overwhelm the other party with information and other things going on. But it feels like allowing space for them to ask questions as opposed to over explaining is a piece of advice coming through. Any messages from my guides regarding teaching at the retreat? Allow yourself to be in flow and don't overthink how you're being received. I feel like it's that quote that's like, in the moment, you'll be given the right things to say. If there's like some like divine part to the quote, I don't remember it. But anyway, like you'll know what to say in the moment so long as you don't overthink it, because then that takes you out of the moment. Can you tell me why I'm drawn to killer whales? All my life, I'm so calmed by their existence. That's pretty cool. I mean, they are pretty, they're like otherworldly. They don't feel like they should be here. They're from somewhere else. Your brain wants to understand how something with that type of power can exist in like a peaceful state. Like how it can go from such extremes where it can destroy and can also bring beauty, I guess. It's like Eight of Pentacles working really hard to understand the mechanics of something. I feel like it's the mechanics of duality, and for some reason your brain is able to easily identify duality in that animal or mammal. Wait, that's so true. Oh, that's so true. I don't know where it is right now, but that's so true. Oh, no lag. Okay, that's good. I forgot I asked that. I'm working on healing myself. Are my fibroids shrinking? Token thirst. A dress and a hat, like a dress rehearsal. A dress rehearsal. I feel like they're going to. I don't know if it'll be a noticeable change yet, but I feel like they are heading in that direction. But Knight of Cups is reversed, so I'm almost noticing if the change wouldn't be big enough to be detected yet, but there is a change. Almost like I don't know if this makes sense. Hold on, my throat is like closing. Almost if like whatever this deals with, if like the swelling around it goes down first and then that goes down. That's kind of the reference that I'm getting. So you're making progress even if it's not measurable yet, is I guess how to word that. Hold on, I need to cough. Okay. My dad is unhappy in his job. Is there a job he'd find more happiness in? Yes. Feels like he's very caught in the mundane. Like he's been doing the same thing for too long. There's no way that he can like repeat the same pattern and not have his brain tell him that he hates it. Yeah, 10 of Swords. Something where he's on the other end of decision making, or like if he right now is more like front of the house, it would be more back of the house. It's like the brain needs a change in scenery. It feels like he could do the same type of industry, but needs to switch the front back type thing. I don't know how to describe that. What should I have a focus on? What should you have? Something's buildable, but you need to start to take action. It feels like there's an area of your life that you could describe as like, this is good, but I kind of thought it would be a little bit more expansive. It feels like it's waiting for you to expand it to expand. So whether that's knowledge, whether that's, for some reason, I feel like it has something to do with like a social element with that star card. It's time for you to expand, or you're ready to expand when you feel ready to action it. What potential outcomes might arise if my daughter and I actively cultivate our spiritual gifts together? Oh, that's cool. And how can we support the healthiest path? You each unlock something you wouldn't be able to otherwise unlock. Okay, so this video is being referenced in my brain. I think I saw it on Instagram. It's like they say, it's a mom and a kid, and they say, take a step forward if, and they say a bunch of statements about like love, like feeling loved essentially. And the kid keeps stepping forward and the mom doesn't. And then they say, step forward if your kid feeling loved helps heal, blah, blah, blah. And then they keep saying things like that. And then the mom catches up with the child, like because they're now taking steps forward. That's the reference that I'm getting. It was on Instagram. Yeah, 6 of Swords. going that, whatever you would describe that as, would be the benefit. You'd be standing next to each other in line, healing through one another, I guess. And like for the kid, it gives wisdom. Okay, I'm worried about my dad losing his sobriety from alcohol. Are there any messages about this? I feel like he's trying really hard, but there are some moments that it feels like he's caught in the middle of the storm. I feel like helping him find a quick, healthy coping mechanism, distraction. Imagine by John Lennon. It's almost like you can't expect him to fill the void with nothing and be okay. So he needs to find something healthy to fill the void with in the moments of panic, because it feels like he's trying. And if he just had something to put there in the moments where he feels very empty, it would help alleviate the desire to fill it with what he knows is going to not lead to the right path. Any messages from my dad? He sees how hard you're fighting for alignment that's through no fault of your own keeps getting tested. It's almost like he's referencing like they're running out of wands. Like eventually all of these wands will no longer, almost like the wand comes for you and it breaks in half. And he's like, there's only a couple wands left until you no longer have to face this pressure, is how it's coming through. Yeah, Knight of Cups in reverse. Feels like the pressure is pressure breaking out of some kind of shell that's like scary but necessary. I don't know why my iPad is so slow to use it as a second screen. What area will feel lighter in January? Comparing where you're at with what you thought your foundation would look like at this point in your life. Yeah, the Emperor. You realizing that actually, I mean, you already did realize this, but like you transmuting what still hurts into power about when you think of the foundation that your life is on right now versus what you expected. There was like a grieving process that's wrapping up. Not like that you'll be totally healed from it, but the grieving process is wrapping up, if that makes sense. Will the results from S biopsy be okay? What do we know about the results? I feel like they're going to want to keep an eye on something. It kind of feels like the message of we're in the clear right now, but we're not confident that we're going to stay in the clear. So we need to see how this develops or changes or something. It feels like needing to keep an eye on it. Nine of Cups. I feel like it ends up being okay, but there's something that needs to keep an eye on. Or like additional testing, like not immediate, like we need to test this again, but not right now, later type of thing. Should I run away from advocacy? Song, please. Ladders by Ryan Carvalho. Run away. Feels like you climbed the ladder. Although I do feel like something's taking a toll on you. So maybe stepping away from it for now. Judgment's reversed, so it doesn't have to be final. But Knight of Cups in reverse, something's definitely draining you right now. And the Lovers is a decision. So like it's in the ball's in your court to step away and step back when it feels more appropriate, because you know how to reclimb the ladder and you know the view that you have from that. I feel like Hermit in reverse, stepping away temporarily feels to be the move, or like necessary, maybe even be the word. How will tonight go with Brienne? How will tonight go with Brienne? I don't know if like awkward's the word. It kind of feels like there's two different pages that people are on, but they find a way to work together without talking about it. It's like I can feel we're on different pages, but let's just kind of go with it. That kind of thing. What is my dad's perspective about going through the transition of death? Did he know what was happening, feel pain, etc.? What is your dad's perspective? One minute you're fighting the good fight, and next thing you know, you're in the light. I feel like that's like Chariot. 1 minute you're fighting the good fight, next thing you know, you're in the light. And your light, there's like some reference to like light speed of information. 1 minute, you know, okay, kind of given the reference of like when we're humans and here we're walking through quicksand, but we don't see the quicksand. We think that that's normal speed. But from his perspective, he's like, I was doing that. And now next thing you know, I'm no longer in the quicksand and I'm realizing that he can gather information and data, or like it's all accessible to him type of thing. Released from the quicksand, like the heaviness. What is this thing about pattern recognition that keeps coming up for me? You've mentioned it in a few readings. I'm trying to figure out where and how to apply it. Where and how to apply. All of your past situations kind of line together and teach you a specific lesson or perspective that's pointing you to the choice that you can make. So Two of Wands is the planning stage before the Three of Wands. So it feels like there's a lack of direction, but your pattern recognition is meant to show you what's the best option for you because everything previously has been preparing you for it. Specifically, your battles. You're meant to be using it to find your way forward, like to pick where you want to direct your energy towards. What is my mental barrier to being financially abundant and secure? You think it's for other people and not you. You've watched a lot of other people get ahead or jump ahead without being able to. It's like you've watched people cut the line, essentially. And it's developed this belief that it's just not for you. It's just for other people. It's just not accessible to you. But I also feel like this is kind of related to something inner teen wise that was like a volcano effect. Like there's still lava on the ground from a belief that was developed during your teen years. And the thing that I just said kind of reignited that. It reignited the past belief. How will this month go for us? How will this month go for us? I would say plans aren't going to go as expected, but you do figure it out in the end. I would say prepare for at least one hiccup, but it feels like the hiccup is actually a redirection. But I guess it depends on how you handle the hiccup, if you work against yourself or not. Is this the right time to take legal action towards my stolen inheritance, or is the truth being revealed? Is it the right time to take legal action? I feel like there's a need to gather more intel or more information. It's like almost like if you go in right now, they're going to say, hey, we need this, this, and that. So it would make more sense in your favor to have this, this, and that the first entry, if that makes sense. Three of Wands, you may be preventing yourself from the best outcome by not going in with the strongest information. So I think that there's more that's needed. What chakra should I work on, and what color is my aura? Solar plexus, the Chariot movement. Solar plexus, the light goes up to the heart so the heart can interpret. So it feels like movement in your solar plexus. Using your creativity, sharing your light in whatever way you feel called, taking some kind of external action that matches your internal clarity. What color is my aura? It feels like this color, which is kind of ironic because that would be root chakra. It feels like now that you've grounded, it's time to create movement. That's the combo. Message. It's giving unexpected show and tell. Like you're about to have an opportunity to externally express something that internally has been building, but like you don't anticipate or see this coming. Oh, it does have inflammation. Okay. That makes sense. So I feel like maybe the main cause is starting a little bit to be effective, but you are having more effect than just that, because whatever's going on around it, that's where the main progress is happening right now, it feels like. Any insight regarding my abnormal 3D mammogram and ultrasound? I've messaged my doctor but haven't received a response yet. Abnormal. I feel like there is something they're going to have to dig deeper into. I don't know if that's literal. I don't think that that's literal. I think dig deeper into it. Would there be something in your history? Almost getting the image of like, or the energy of like comparing something to your history and being like, oh, okay, then that's not really something to worry about. Does that make sense? Like, I don't know if it's like something that would be left over from before or something that would make sense in combination with something else. But it does feel like something they're going to have to dig deeper into. Hopefully that makes sense. Song or token to help getting motivated to face my shadow person by starting the codex. Song or token to help getting motivated. The Author by Livingston. Huh. I would be the earth when all else fails. So if you're ever scared to jump before me, take the fear off of your face, because I would be the one to write your story and I won't forget a single page. But you could be the author. You're getting the opportunity to rewrite your story from your perspective instead of the perspective of your shadow. You're only hesitant to go in because you feel like you're going to be reading the story from the perspective of your shadow that'll be shaming you or scolding you, but you have the pen in your hand. Yeah, that's the battle, but you have the pen in your hand. Message from Brian. I don't understand how that's being so laggy and I'm not laggy. Unfinished. Something being carried out through you or like lived through you, like unfinished business that you're finishing, I guess is how I would word that. The Lovers. You're making a decision to see something through. Message from Brian. I see the way that you're seeing something through, even though you may think that no one sees it, type of thing. So did my mom lie to me? I had something already happen. So did your mom lie to me, to you? Communicate, confident communication, 7 of Swords. Dishonest. It's kind of giving when you tell someone a white lie for good intention. It kind of feels like that. Did something already happen? Or what did you say? Had something already happened? 9 of Swords. 6 of Wands. Public worry. The chessboard's on the table or on the ceiling instead of the something flipped upside down. Something had begun to flip out upside down, or there was fear of something flipping upside down, or awareness that something was close to potentially flipping upside down. Is how I want to word that. Healing message for this month. Your patience is done being tested. Not that it's like you're not going to need patience, but whatever was like, I'm getting the reference of like the Chinese water torture when they just lay on the ground and they just have the one thing hit over and over in the same spot. It's like you've been dealing with that and that's coming to an end. Yeah, 10 of Wands. In terms of your patience, Learning to Fly by the Weepies is the song that just came on. Is Brian the part nervous been waiting for? Is Brian the part you've been waiting for? Brian the part nervous been waiting for? I'm going to read that as, is Brian nervous and that's why there's hesitation or waiting? I feel like it's a lack of confidence about which goal is really, yeah, the Fool. I feel like if he was confident about what he wanted, he'd be able to more easily move forward. But I feel like it has nothing to do with you or any other person. I feel like it's an internal thing. Like, am I really ready for what I think I want from his perspective? I started the project puzzle today on a freelance platform. Will this go well? Will it be long term? Project puzzle. Will this go well? I feel like it's a slow build and you'll get out of it what you continue to put into it, but there's going to be some kind of test of patience because Temperance is very slow moving and chess is a long game. And there's lots of different moves and different things that you have to do, right? So you'll need to continue to move pieces around the board, but if you're patient with it, it could go somewhere. Will it be long term? It can be if you continue to push through hurdles, but you are going to be tested Feels like there's some kind of frustration that comes with this. Like I kind of see the frustration where like maybe not literally, but you're like slamming your hands on your desk for a moment, like stop with this frustrating part type of thing. But there is an ability to overcome that. I can feel my dad's presence. Can you confirm the color and or the appliance? Let's see what I get. Color and or appliance. Potentially something with a dial. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to necessarily get the answer you're looking. My gifts don't really work like on command type responses like that. But something potentially with a dial. Silver, gold, black feel prevalent, but I'm not necessarily getting a color. What can we know about your dad confirming his presence, not as that direct answer? Communication, lack of clarity. Hierophant. I mean, yeah, he's here. He's communicating with you, but my gifts don't work with direct answers like that on the spot. However, something about a dial feels significant, and something about you being dialed in around communication. So you're understanding a specific way that he's communicating with you is the message. What was my dad's soul lesson? What was my dad's soul lesson? Not resisting emotions, but learning from them, balancing them, learning from them and feeling them and not suppressing them. I feel like there may have been maybe lack of transparency about emotions when he was growing up. So it feels like it was to overcome that. Is my vague memory of someone being physically inappropriate with me when I was a child an accurate memory? What can we know about that memory? Five of Wands. Your brain is the Five of Wands or the memory is the Five of Wands? Eight of Pentacles. I feel like you're remembering trauma, but the details around the trauma are not clear. And I feel like because your brain wants to make it make sense, it's filling in certain pieces. Do I think something happened? Yes. But do I think that some pieces of how you're remembering it, and it's not even like you're trying to make it worse than it is. That's not what I'm saying. There are certain things about it that aren't making sense to you because your brain has tried to fill in details of the pieces it can't remember in combination with what it can. So you're remembering a good chunk of it, but the parts that aren't making sense is because your brain did like an autofill. Does that make sense? Sorry, there's like a noise. What is that noise? I'm home alone. I guess it's my cat. Okay. Can you guys hear that banging? Hold on. It stopped. Okay. Love that for me. Okay, let's keep going. Can't wait to see what my cat destroyed. Why are adults now remembering the GATE programs? Did they plan this exposure? Did they plan it? No. Were they aware that it was going to eventually surface at some point? Yes. Judgment in reverse. They knew they couldn't keep it away forever. Not planned, but I think it's like a light tag, right? Like a reverse flag football. Like we're putting the flags on each other instead of taking them off. I feel like they knew that eventually people were going to start to wake each other up to it and help each other remember, and there's nothing they could do to stop that. Message from my dad and a song. Lotus by Janine Aiko. How he views you. People wouldn't believe if they knew how much you had gone through because you don't look like what you've been through. You got thrown into something as the Page of Pentacles and you came out as the King of Swords, like the master of the mind, to something that was supposed to stop you in your tracks. I feel like he's just acknowledging how much this took. You beat something that you were not prepared for. Or you overcame something. No, I feel like beat is the word he's using. I smelled cigarettes the other day. Was that my grandpa soothing me? Communication via patience. Hidden communication via patience. I feel like the confirmation that it was him is that in that moment, he was trying to tell you to slow down. Slow down, you're pulling yourself out of alignment. I feel like the message was slow down, your mind is getting away from you. And I feel like maybe when you smell cigarettes going forward in like a out of nowhere way, that's the message. It's like he's locked that in. That when you're referencing that smell with him, it's him being like, slow down, your brain's running ahead and you need to go catch it, type of thing. Oh, I love that. He did confirm it. I was looking at the blue too, and I was like, I don't want to guess. Oh, you can't hear any banging? Huh. It sounded like, you know when you pull on a cord, but there's a phone on the wall? It sounded like my cats were doing that, but I don't have anything that would do that. How long will my cat Shadow stay mad at me after our 19-hour drive? I feel like it'll be short-lived because look, he looks kind of angry. But then this is the mom card with dogs all around. Page of Wands. Until you get back home, and then I feel like it'll be fine. I guess the message is there's going to be a little bit of like unsettled until you settle back in, and then everything will be fine. You hear static sounds. You know how my internet kept going out like all the time, and I kept having Comcast out here like all the time? Well, they came out the last time, and there's like multiple messages of me losing my mind to Bethany and Aaron about it because they tried telling me there's nothing wrong. And I said, sir, you're either finding the problem or you're canceling my service before you leave this house. So he went outside and he came back in. He's like, look, there was an animal chewing through the connection wire. So all this time, there actually was a problem. Anyway, that was my week last week. Although it looks like my internet's still being slow. So that's fun. Message and a token. Trying to get one at the bottom. Ooh, the word one. But it's in reverse. There's going to be something where you hold yourself back from feeling like you need to have the last word, and it opens up some kind of new opportunity for you. It's like that's the final test, or that's the final passing here. I feel like maybe a past version of you would have wanted to have the last word in this particular situation, but the current version of you doesn't need it. And it feels like that's what releases some kind of bungee cord. Oh, you can hear the bang. Okay. That makes me feel a little better that I wasn't the only one hearing it. Do you foresee major events taking place on December 19th? Why does that date feel significant? The 19th? There may be something canceled that throws other things out of balance. But I feel like major events, I feel like maybe you're talking about like catastrophic type events. This feels more like something is canceled and it throws other things out of whack from like also being scheduled on the same right day or something. Any major life changes within the next year? You're going to have a chance to work through something that it's like you've been problem solving to just stay afloat. You're getting the opportunity to build on top of something. But it feels like it's because you're releasing expectations that were not yours, but were placed on you. How will I like my new boss after my current boss retires? Will my job be secure? How will you like your current boss? You're going to like the way that this current boss does things better than the new one. Will your job be secure? Yeah, I feel like your job will be secure. I just feel like you'll prefer the way that the current person does things, at least at first. Maybe it'll kind of ease up. Maybe they're coming in being a little bit more of like a over analyzer, the new person. What do I or my husband need to learn or master to become financially stable again? Limiting beliefs around networking. Limiting beliefs around networking. 9 of Pentacles in reverse. Not having to do it all on your own. Networking or investing. I guess that could go either way. Networking or investing. What do my guides want to tell me about my marriage? It feels like there's a lot of either hard conversations that need to happen. It's kind of giving nothing changes until something changes. Nothing's going to change on its own. There needs to be 4 of Cups in reverse. Not sweeping something under the rug because it's going to grow in pressure. Getting it out from under the rug and addressing it will help to increase each of your confidence and your ability to handle communication. It feels like communication, learning how to communicate from one another's communication style, because that's how the communication is best received. How is deep diving into chess going? My dad taught me an 8 moves something when I was a kid. Hopefully I'm going to pick back up this week. I did a little bit so far. I'm not that far into it yet. But I like to base readings off of it, I've learned. So that's pretty cool. Ace of Pentacles, Knight of Wands in reverse. In what way could you replicate a move that he taught you? It feels like in something that feels stagnant right now. Like not literal, but like the the purpose behind the move or a why behind the move would make sense in problem solving something for you right now. What skills should I focus on in my career and a token? Saturn too, huh? You're willing to address the part that other people avoid, but like you address it head on and study it. Magician in reverse. You're problem solving, almost like you find mental stimulation in problem solving, where other people get stressed out because they have to solve a problem. You're like, oh, I get to learn something. So I feel like using that to your advantage, calmness under pressure, I guess is what I would say. Or like able to strategize without tools. Is Brian the partner I've been waiting on? Is Brian the partner? I feel like you also called in trusting the unknown without feeling like you need to know the next step or have everything figured out because you can trust yourself to decide in the moment. I feel like that's what Brian is. Like you're not supposed to know, you're supposed to trust yourself to in the moment say, okay, do I want to continue or not? Do I want to keep going or not? It's like a mix of trusting your discernment and detachment. Like not saying, okay, this is it, I'm ready to lock in, but also saying, okay, I'm willing to see, and if it's determined that my path is going a different way, then I'll go a different way. It feels like that's your test with this person, is like detachment and discernment trust. Did my email set anything unfavorable in motion at work? Did it set anything unfavorable? A disconnect between levels. Someone's not understanding what you are saying. But it kind of feels like on purpose. Like they don't, yeah, King of Swords in reverse. Did it set anything unfavorable though? So no, not anything unfavorable right now, but it feels like someone's looking for a reason to misunderstand you further to validate them not understanding you right now. So like, I don't understand you right now. So if I can find another opportunity to not understand you, then it's a pattern and it's not a me problem. It's a you not being understandable problem. Feels like that. So not anything unfavorable besides like, I guess it triggered someone's ego, which is to some degree unfavorable. Will we be financially stable in 2026? And if so, what season? Financially stable in 2026. I mean, Four of Pentacles is financial stability. So you're going to at least be feeling better off than you are right now. How much better off is that? You're going to find a solution for one thing that stresses you out within the next year financially. And that's going to make you feel like now you have all four pillars in cement instead of in like dirt or sand. What quarter or what season? 8 of Cups. Probably towards the end of the year. I don't think you're exactly where you want to be by the end of the year, but I think you feel a lot more sturdy. Message to Sarah from her mom in heaven on how she can use this time to heal prior to her upcoming surgery. I Won't Back Down by Tom Petty. Well, there you go. There's that. It's her versus her own mind. Either the stress about the surgery or the stress about what happens after the surgery. It's her versus her own mind. So the more she can understand her thoughts and not let them run amok, the more she'll win the battle, I guess is how I'd word that. All right, in reverse. Practice resting. Maybe she's like a go, go, go person. So it's like after surgery, you don't want to go into like go, go, go to all of a sudden nothing. That'll put your mind into like a what's going on shock place. So maybe practicing slowing down so that when the surgery happens, it's not an abrupt like hitting of a wall. Message for 2026. It's time to reconnect grounded energy in your heart space. So the heart is the interpreter, right? This is like needing to figure out what it is that your emotions have been trying to tell you that maybe you have been not seeing fully, because it is what turns these upright and allows you to expand and build. Needing to be patient with yourself through a range of emotions so you can get the clue out of them or the direction from them. When will the family all come back together? It's giving like one more round of resisting change, or one more round, maybe it's one more year of miss something. And then there's finality. It feels like there's one more round or one more go round, or there's one more year perhaps until there's some kind of big shift. What does my guide think of me moving? Feels like it's a transitionary phase that helps you. It's like not final but necessary as an in between. So like it gets you further away from this 9 of Swords, which is the first step needed, so you can get out of survival mode and then begin a transition. So I feel like it's a good stepping stone. Message for the month with a song and a token. Magnifying glass and 180. So nope, 100. But I said 180. So 180 is like turning around, but 100 is like you're done. So you're still looking at something, waiting for the other shoe to drop, but the other shoe's not dropping. You're just used to that being the case. You know, when you're solving a puzzle in Jeopardy and it's like the word could go either way, it's like you needing to trust yourself to know that you know that word and that the other shoe's not going to drop, aka you're not going to say the wrong word in the puzzle. For some reason, that's the reference I'm getting. All right, I'm going to turn off super chat. Where did the comments go? Oh, there we go. All right, there's 3 more here, and then I'm going to do 2 on the other list. Message from my dad and a song. It's not a song, but it's a speech. He Found Something by David Goggins. Everything that tried to stop you, you built a ladder with. I feel like there's a message of needing to give yourself more credit for what that took. Where's my mouse? There it is. Message and a song to Amy on her 50th birthday and a message on what's to come this year. The tower that fell is the space that she'll use to rebuild. And now she knows that she's able to strategize appropriately of the best thing to build in the space that's been cleared. So this is the year of rebuilding. Message from spirit guides on where I go from here after all the loss and challenges this year. Reconnecting with your intuition so you can learn to trust yourself again from things that you didn't or couldn't have seen coming. And it feels like the way you do this is sitting with your emotions and not blaming yourself for having them in the first place. Okay, I'm going to do 2 more here. Will I be on the path of my life's purpose in 2026? It feels like this is the year of putting into practice what you learn from the test or the tribulations and the trials. It's like what comes next comes after you show. 3 of Pentacles is like all the different pieces of the lessons coming together. So it feels like this is you showing yourself that it wasn't all for nothing before it moves forward. Will M and K stay married? What is the energy between them? It feels like they're trying to learn how to work together, but struggling is how I would define that. It feels like they keep going 1 step forward, 2 steps back. It feels like for now, there's an agreement, is maybe not the right word, to kind of try and work through it. All right, last one. Does my dad want my mom to move on? He passed in 2015. It was a difficult relationship. New beginning. She deserves a new beginning. New beginning, clarity. So yes, she deserves a new beginning. The Emperor and 9 of Pentacles, it's like it doesn't take his power away. It doesn't, power's not the word. It doesn't take his connection with her away by her allowing herself to be loved. It actually strengthens their connection, and not in like a weird way, but like in like it elevates her sense of self to know that she's still, her life didn't have to stop just because his did, is kind of how that kind of feels harsh, but that's the wording that's coming through. I was trying to word it a different way, but I don't know how. So the message is her life doesn't need to stop just because his did, and she deserves to be loved. All right, everyone, I'm going to hop off. Let's see here. Brenda. I don't know if you put a question. Let's just do a couple cards for you real quick. Why is it not coming up on the screen? All right, let's see. What does Brenda need to know? And then I'm going to hop off. It feels like you're ready to plan a strategy to kind of pull ahead of either a competition or outthinking the brain puzzle, or outthinking the problem, or outthinking what is blocking strategy. It kind of feels like you called in an intellectual challenge of sorts, and now you're in the stage where you're about to get the solution and work through it. Is kind of how that's coming through. All right, everyone, I'm going to hop off. I will hopefully be back with more readings next week. Announcements. I don't think I have any announcements. My brain is done. Thank you all for being here. I will see you in the next one.